My wife and I have been married for 9 years, and we have a wonderful 5-year-old son. For a long time, I truly believed that I was the happiest man in the world. My wife always seemed like the perfect partner, a fantastic mother, and a wonderful spouse. The day she gave birth to our son was the happiest day of my life. Our friends even referred to us as the picture-perfect family because we appeared so harmonious. My wife once won a beauty pageant in college and has always attracted attention from men, but I trusted her completely and never doubted her loyalty. However, at some point, everything changed. My wife's behavior became odd. She remained a loving mother to our son, but grew increasingly cold and irritated with me. She would lash out for no apparent reason, and when I tried to discuss what was happening, she would react with anger. I tried to improve our relationship through care and affection, but she kept pushing me away. The tension became so unbearable that we decided to send our son to my parents for the weekend so we could talk. During that weekend, my wife finally admitted that she had been unfaithful. The person involved was a mutual acquaintance, A, 32M. We both belonged to a sports club where professionals and hobbyists trained together, and A had become our instructor about 2 years ago. I noticed that my wife had a small interest in him from the start, but it didn't worry me because her behavior always remained within the bounds of propriety. She confessed that it had happened only once. I asked for details, but her story seemed strange, though I pretended to believe her. She explained that her harsh behavior toward me was caused by guilt. She couldn't cope with the shame, so she lashed out at me. Instead of feeling hurt, I was filled with suspicion and uncertainty. On Monday, after my wife went to work and dropped off our son at daycare, I took the day off. I knew she had been messaging A through a certain app. Since she's not very tech-savvy, I knew that copies of her messages might still be saved on her computer, even if she had deleted them from her phone. I accessed her account on the computer, hoping to find answers. And I did. In her chat with A, I discovered numerous personal messages, photos, and videos. I was overwhelmed with nausea from what I saw. My wife had sent him pictures taken in our bathtub, writing that she was thinking about him, or mirror selfies from a bathroom during a trip we took with our son. Against my better judgment, I played a few of the videos. It was like watching a completely different woman, much more passionate and engaged with him than I had ever seen her before. She said things I had never heard from her. These few seconds of footage made me realize that her attraction to him was much stronger than to me. She had also lied about some aspects of their relationship. I kept scrolling through the messages and saw that their connection had lasted for about 8 months. Everything I read was too painful to bear, but I saved the chat logs and printed them out. I was overwhelmed with tears, breathing heavily, feeling like my life was collapsing before my eyes. I wanted to run away, but I knew I had to stay strong for our son, though I couldn't imagine how he could see me in such a state. After I managed to calm down, I went through the chat logs again and uncovered the most painful truth. My wife had lied about ending things with him. The latest messages showed that A had been the one to break it off. My wife didn't take it well. She questioned him repeatedly, trying to understand why. He explained that he was seeing someone else and wanted to get serious with her. My wife reacted by pleading, acting upset, and eventually getting angry. He responded by threatening that if she didn't stop bothering him, he would send me their pictures and videos. These messages perfectly aligned with the time her behavior started to change. So, contrary to what she had told me, she wasn't upset because of guilt. She was upset because she had been dumped. Their affair had been ongoing for over a year, filled mostly with flirtation, setting up meetings and intimate exchanges rather than anything deeply personal. My wife is from another country and has no close family here. So before she got home that day, I packed my bags, messaged her that I knew everything, and went to stay at my parents' house. I didn't tell them the real reason, just mentioned that we had an argument. Since then, she's been pleading for me to come home, telling me our son misses me, leaving tearful voicemails, and apologizing endlessly. I'm shattered. My family was everything to me. Now I can't even look at my wife the same way after what I saw in those images and videos. But what's worse is how expertly she hid it from me. If she hadn't been dumped and blackmailed, I might never have known anything was wrong. I'm left questioning who my wife truly is, the woman in those videos or the one who cared deeply for me, our son, and my parents. I can't stop asking myself why she did this. I know I'm not the most attractive man she could have chosen, but I'm a good father, a dedicated husband, with a solid career that provides everything for her and our son. We've never lacked for anything, and I've always made sure we could travel and enjoy life. There are men far worse than me whose wives remain loyal. So what did I do to deserve this? It's twisted, but I miss her. It feels like the woman I loved is gone, and I'm grieving that loss. I'm also scared for the future. What if my son eventually learns what his mother did and resents me for being weak if I choose to stay with her? But if we divorce and she returns to her home country, I might lose my son too. I'm terrified of the legal battle over parental rights, knowing that I could be cut off from him forever. I've already taken an STD test, and thankfully, my son looks exactly like me, so I know he's mine. But emotionally, I'm destroyed. I can't sleep because I keep replaying her voice and what she did in those videos in my mind. My heart races with anxiety. I'm messing up at work, and worst of all, I miss my son terribly. Logically, I know I should leave her, but it feels like my only chance at happiness lies in keeping our family together. How can I prevent this from tearing us apart? Has anyone ever truly recovered from an affair through counseling? What's the best choice for my son? Please, I need help.